Hey, good afternoon, sports fans. PB&Z Sports Chaos. We're coming back at you. PB's down in his new studio somewhere in Miami, correct?
Well, Coral Springs.
Coral Gables?
Coral Springs.
Coral Springs. All right.
Yeah.
Well, PB, this has been a wild week. What happened this week, first of all, we did our show last Sunday, and all of a sudden hell broke out, right? After that,
Lots of stuff this week going on.
oh man,
NBA
was once again on the head of the curve. They started March 13th with coronavirus. Once Gobert came down with it for the Utah Jazz, the NBA shut it down. NCAA shut it down, and next thing you know, everybody shut it down. And once again, the NBA did it. What I really applaud, I know the NHL did not get a lot of credit on the first night, but then they shut it down the next two nights. They did a good job turning it around, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, it's just a question of did they just follow suit to be up with the NBA in terms of leagues? Or, I mean, if the NBA didn't do anything, would have the NHL taken the lead there? Probably not.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
But they did the right thing. They did the right thing.
They did. All right. Hey, Yankees. I know I picked them to get to the World Series. I think you did, PB. Whoa, I don't know what happened. The wheel's coming off the cart down there in New York. Tampa Bay's running away with the division. The Yankees lost 7 in a row. Garrett Cole, their big ace, remember we talked about this, he was on a 29-game unbeaten streak. Cookport, it's over. He lost this week. Yankees lost 7 in a row.
And Tampa's got the best record in the American League right now. So
they have. They moved out of the A's, who were another one. We thought they could make it to the playoffs, but we didn't expect them to run away with the division. We thought the Pukes would, and they're crushing the Pukes, thank God, right? Oh, my goodness. All right. Hey, and we're going to talk a little NHL. We mentioned a few minutes ago, the Bruins. I know I picked them, Tampa Bay. You picked the Bruins. I didn't want to pick Tampa Bay, and now I'm finding out why I picked them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked last week about Tampa Bay being a city that could put 3 potential championships in their sport this year. Look at the Rays, best record in the American League. Right now, the Lightning up 3-1 on the Bruins. I'm not going to count the Bruins out just yet. We've seen them come back from 3-1 deficits, like the likes of the series against the Maple Leafs several years, which was phenomenal. But given the fact
they had great goaltending then.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, given the fact that Halak is struggling a little bit now, the longevity and the endurance factor is starting to kick in, right? He had a couple moments of brilliance, played a couple games really well, but now when it's night in and night out every other day, sometimes back-to-back days, he's just not doing what a goaltender needs to do. And I could see the Lightning winning the series for sure. Bruins might be able to pull out another game, but I don't see them winning the series.
By the way, they have another back-to-back coming up. So I think the next game is tomorrow, Monday. Then they play Wednesday, Thursday again. And I think if they happen to be able to win that game Monday to make it 3-2, they're down when it goes back-to-back.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
it's going to be a rough road.
The rest of them, though, the Islanders are playing tough against the Phillies, like we both said, right?
Yeah, we both predicted the Islanders in that one. They're up 2-1. They do play tonight. I think they're facing off the puck right now.
Yeah.
Islanders can win tonight and go up 3-1, just like the Lightning are on the Bruins. It'll be a tough road for Philly to come back there.
The Avalanche are getting a lot handed to them out of the Stars, right?
Yeah. But let me ask you this. What do you think? We both said that the winner of the Bruins-Tampa Bay series would go to the Cup. So as hot as the Islanders are, if they do, let's say, beat Philly in 5 games, you still think Tampa Bay will smoke them?
I'm sticking with it. Cinderella slipper is going to fall off.
Yeah, I would agree too. I would agree. What about?
Hey, PV. All right, what do you got? Anything else?
No, I was just going to say, what about out west? Out west, we got Vegas up two.
Vegas is up, but the Stars are giving the Avalanche a lot of hell, so we'll see what happens out there. But
yeah,
I still think that both those two teams that we picked, the Avalanche and the Vegas Knights will probably win 4-0.
Yeah, but right now I don't think the Avalanche are losing 5-3. It's almost the end of the game, so they're going to go down 3-1. That's good for them to climb too. So we could see we could see
Stars
up against the Stars. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
So.
Hey, last week we talked a little bit golf because in Norton, place you and I know very well, TPC Norton. We had record scores, right? 30 under by Dustin. This weekend they're playing the Vegas Invitational, I think it's called. I forget what it's called. But for the second round of the FedEx, I believe today finished with maybe one guy under par, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
That's hard. That's you and me golf, for Christ's sakes. Oh, my God. All right. Hey, let's get into this NBA stuff. So we just talked about it momentarily ago. Let's project ahead, PB. I'm going to say Lakers should beat Portland. Oh, I'm sorry, they did beat Portland. Clippers should win that series against Dallas now that Porzingis is out. That, I think, wraps up tonight. The Rockets are in a tight match with the Thunder, and the Jazz are still up on the favorite team there. Are you sticking with your picks to go to the next round?
Yeah. And the Clippers did wrap it up today, by the way.
They did wrap it up. Okay.
Wrapped it up. So we're going to have the Lakers up against what will likely be Houston. Houston's up 3-2.
Right.
And we will have the
Clippers.
The Jazz Nuggets series, which is,
right,
probably going to end up being the Jazz. They'll go up against the Clippers. So, and one thing to note here is that we will, if the Jazz and the Rockets pull off their series, which they both could, both up 3-2, we will have predicted all 8. We had the same 8 teams winning. I know it's not rocket science, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the East, but in the West, that means we predicted the 5 over the 4, and we predicted the 6 over the 3. So we'll go 8-0 in our series there.
That's right. Take that, sports fans.
Take that. That's right. So now let's look at that. Let's project that out. So that means Lakers and we'll say, for all intents and purposes,
Clippers.
Either way, whether it's the Rockets or the Thunder, I'm going to take the Lakers to move into the conference finals. And the Clippers will play the winner of that.
Rockets. Yeah.
Assuming it's the Jazz. I do like the Jazz. I think they got some good stuff there, but I think too much. The Clippers got too much. So I'm going to go Clippers, Lakers for your Western Conference final.
I'm with you only because I think the Thunder are going to really take a lot out of the Rockets' legs. They're going to be beat physically when they get to that series. So,
all right. So we got an all-LA Western Conference final. What about?
Let's move east.
East is going to be interesting. The Celtics are already up 1-0 after their win today. They're playing great basketball. They haven't lost yet in the playoffs. Nor have the Heat. And the Heat and the Bucks will be facing off here soon as well. I do like the Celtics over the Raptors. I think they match up well against them. They play well against them. I'll tell you, that Heat-Bucks series, that could be one of the best series in the NBA playoffs this year.
Agree. I agree.
That is going to be a phenomenal series. It's going to go 7. That I can predict right now. Who's going to win Game 7 is the question. There's no home court in the NBA.
Right.
Bubble. So, I mean, I think the Heat have the best chance of getting, dethroning. Well, not dethroning because they're not the champs, but beating the Bucks. But I'm going to give it to the Bucks. I think the Bucks will win that series. It'll be 7 games, and it'll be Bucks-Celtics final.
Whoa! If we had done the show yesterday, I would have picked Toronto, but I'm picking the Celtics now. They're up 1-0. That series will go 7. No, I'm sorry, 6. If the Celtics go 7, they will lose in 7. I hate to say it, but they will lose in 7. They have to win in 6. I believe the Heat and the Bucks go 7. And to your point, I think the Bucks win it because they get the better play in Giannis.
Yeah. Okay. So we both have a Bucks Celtics final in the East. We both have a Clippers Lakers final in the West.
That's right, man. All right. Let's do a little football. PB, before we get into football, we're going to talk fantasy fans. Hey, by the way, if you want to be in the Survivor Fantasy Football League that the PB&Z Sports Chaos Show sponsors, we're going to do our draft this week. PB will put it on our Facebook page. If you want to be on it, send them a direct message to be on it, and we'll send you the call-in information for the draft. We'll talk about that momentarily. PB, one concern I have about football, and this is why I want to hang on. I didn't want to do a draft this week, but we got to do it. There is so many freaky injuries going on. Every day you hear about a freaky injury that you don't – ACLs, yes. But broken foot, broken elbow, the stuff that I'm hearing about in the camps has got me very concerned about the NFL. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the guys weren't ready to start right away. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder if, first of all, how legit are these injuries? Are they really to the point where, are they using everything else that's going on in this world, COVID being the main thing, that's wanting them to kind of figure out an excuse not to play, kind of like baseball, right? Where you get a hangnail and you're out for 3 weeks. Is that going to happen now in the NFL? That's a great point to, consider. And then the other thing is what kind of, how rigorous are the practices that they're not obviously getting a chance to play contact football necessarily like they would in an exhibition game. Are they not in the same football shape that they would have been in otherwise?
Well, and that's my point. I've seen a bunch of practices. I'm watching the NFL, ESPN. There's not a lot of stuff going on full speed. So when I hear about these injuries, it just, back to your point, I think guys weren't ready to step in at this point in time. Maybe they were ready back in April and they didn't have OTAs. They did nothing. And now they're pulling stuff, ripping stuff, tearing stuff that you don't normally see in a football practice. So I don't know. I hope they make it through the season. We'll see. It starts in 2 weeks. And by that point, we don't know if it's even going to happen. Could be a boycott of the NFL at that point in time. We'll see. But we got to pick our fantasy studs. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's go studs first. We'll do top 5 at each position.
All right, man. Let's get right into the money position. To me, it's running back, but I know you're going to say quarterback. So let's do quarterback.
Well, it depends on the league you're in, but we can do either one if you want. I think you got to look at Mahomes and Jackson as really the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. Which one take over the other? I say you can't go wrong with either. I think you'll see more rushing yards out of Lamar Jackson. So depending on how your league is formatted, you may consider a Lamar Jackson over a Patrick Mahomes. But
good point.
1 and 2 clearly there. When you look at 3, 4, and 5, you're looking at guys like Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. Those are, guys who are going to put up good fantasy numbers because they're going to run the ball. They're going to do some good things. So I would say those are probably your next tier of players. I know I listed 4 more there, which will give you your top 6. So to me, that's kind of where you should be looking. If you're taking a quarterback in the first, 2 or 3 rounds, those are the guys you should be focusing on.
PB, do you have a sleeper in the quarterback position? I'm with you for all those guys as well. The only one I think maybe I got Lamar, Mahomes, Deshaun, Kyler, and Dak, and then Russell Wilson 6. So I'm with you. Who's your sleeper though?
My sleeper at quarterback is going to be none other than Drew Lock for the Denver Broncos.
All right.
Yeah. I think Denver's going to have a decent year. I predicted them to go 10-6 this year. Get there somehow, and that's going to be at the arm of Drew Lock.
All right. My sleeper is Brady. He's not been a big fantasy guy for a number of years, right? I don't know, maybe ever, right? Since maybe 2007.
Okay. All right.
Brady,
Brady just went
and he took a dump. And I got one other one for you. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Brady's replacement.
Okay. Stidham or Newton?
Newton's he's gonna win the job.
Newton. So you got Cam Newton. All right.
Yes. I got a funny feeling he's gonna have a great year for a big payday. So we'll see. All right. You want to go running back?
Yeah, let's go running back next.
All right, let's do it. Running back.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I don't think this will be a huge surprise to anybody.
No.
McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke, Kamara, your top 4, hands down. If anybody has a top 4 other than those 4 guys, you're crazy. Then when you talk about the 5th in that list, you could have the likes of my 5 will be Dalvin Cook. He was my comeback player of the year for last year, and he had quite a year. We know 2 years ago he had that injury.
Right.
After that, I mean, that's my top 5. But after that, you got guys like Derrick Henry that some people might put in there. Josh could have a big year. A lot of people are high on Miles Sanders in Philadelphia.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course
And
you have the rookie in Kansas City. Edwards-Helaire, and he could be a.
which I still believe they missed the boat. They had 2 other picks they could have taken running back that would have been better, right?
Right. So, but those are my top 5 are clear, but I could see where 5, 6, 7 you start to get into some of those guys.
Let me ask you a question, BB. I got one for you. Is Le'Veon Bell never going to be a fantasy stud again?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he might have some flashes of brilliance in certain.
All right.
But I mean, he's not a guy I'm gonna put in my running back 1. Definitely not running back 1. Maybe a low end running back 2.
Okay. Give me a wild card because I get a really good wild card. I want to hear yours first.
Yeah, I really like what Cam Akers might do in St. Louis. St. Louis Rams.
Arizona.
No, for the
LA
Rams. Yeah, LA Rams. I really think he, as a rookie,
Ooh, all right.
rookies on the board. A lot of people passed on him, but with the loss of Gurley, I know they have a couple other guys there that he's going to have to fight with, but eventually he's going to come into play, and I think he's going to be a sleeper this year.
Nice. I'm high on 2 people. Jonathan Taylor, I thought he got placed in the best position ever in the draft, going to Indianapolis behind one of the best offensive lines, if not the best. But I got a really crazy one for you. LaShawn McCoy down in Tampa, playing the James White, Kevin Falk role for Brady.
All right, I can see that. I was gonna put in my sleep, but I said he can't really be a sleeper. Is Ronald Jones?
Another one, yes. I would say
Ronald Jones is second. I mean, he's going to be your first down back there. And if Brady can do Brady-like things, open up that passing game, Gronk is there as that, safety net, lots of play action, right? Then that could open up that running game. And Ronald Jones, I think, is poised to have a better season potentially than anybody else in Tampa Bay in the backfield.
Ooh, all right. The one thing I like about LaShawn, he's not afraid to block. If you block for Brady, you'll get the ball. And so I think at the end of the day, because he can run a little bit, he'll play on the other side of the 50 when it's in their zone, driving the ball. He'll be the first guy in. He'll block. He'll get a handoff, and he'll get a 3rd down pass. So we'll see. All right. Let's do a little wide receiver action because that's where the points are made in fantasy. What do you got there, brother?
Again, I think when you're looking at your top 5, top 3, I think is clear. It's Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill. Those are your top 3 receivers in the league for fantasy. I know a lot of people are going to want to put Julio Jones in that top 5. I'm not sure I want to keep him there. I think he's on the down. He's already peaked. I think he's on the down.
He's been an average top 3 for 7 years.
I think this is the year he doesn't do that. So I am going to put Chris Godwin there, though. I think Chris Godwin with Brady thrown to him is going to have.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
I am drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid there. I have a question. I love DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's an excellent receiver. I think he'll fit in. I think Kyler Murray is going to give him the ball. So I am going to put DeAndre Hopkins in that top 5 for sure. So that's my list there.
I'm with you. DeAndre Hopkins with Larry Fitzgerald as the other receiver, he has to get a bunch of balls. I got Michael Thomas. And I'm not at the Michael Thomas fans. It's just a system. He, quite frankly, would not be a star in other systems. Devontae Adams, Green Bay.
Yep.
Although he's going to struggle because he's the only receiver there. I definitely see DeAndre Hopkins. I see Tyreek Jones, and I got Julio. I hate to say it. He's the biggest, most physical freak in the game of football. He'll last 1 more year as that position.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
You know what? Godwin and Mike Evans, they're 6 and 7 for me.
All right. Well, that's still pretty high.
Yeah. Though, you know what I saw? A lot of people have Kenny Golladay, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Kenny Golladay with Detroit. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
mean, he's the only guy there. I get it, but I don't see it.
yeah.
All right, give me a sleeper.
You know, my sleeper's gonna. I'm gonna stick with Kyler Murray and company down there in Arizona. You talked about DeAndre Hopkins. You talked about Larry Fitz. They're gonna get doubled quite a bit, and this is a kid by the name of Christian Kirk. He was a rookie.
Oh,
He was a rookie last year.
yes.
I think he could, and especially if one of those two guys gets hurt. But even still, he's like that third receiver. He's like kind of like a Cooper Cup-esque kind of guy.
Ooh, good comparison. Good comparison.
And he was the third receiver in LA for a while, and he was getting the ball quite a bit. So I'm going to put Christian Kirk in there as my sleeper for a receiver.
All right, I'm going to go real quick. I got 3 guys. Hollywood Brown in the Colt system. He's ready to blossom. He's got too much ability. I know he's a little short. Speaking of short, Julian, I know Cam is going to rely on him to no end. And then the one that I think is going to have the most explosive rookie year, C.D. Lamb down in Dallas.
All right. Okay. I think for rookies, I think Justin Jefferson in Minnesota is the receiver that I would take. From a fantasy draft perspective, I think he has the most opportunity to get the ball.
I'll only say one thing about that. They're going to depend on him. C.D. Lamb does not need to be dependent on. Right now, he's the third receiver going in. They got, obviously, Amari.
They still got
and they got Gallup.
Still has Thielen. Minnesota still has Adam Thielen.
Yes. So I mean, CD isn't under any pressure, so we'll see. All right, let's go. We're going to do a little tight end.
All right, tight end. I think when you look at tight end 1 and 2, you're looking at Kelsey and Kittle. I mean, those two guys, if you get any one of those, Kelsey could be worthy of a late first round 12-team league, 12-13 pick. I personally took him 10th last year in my draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he kind of panned out, but not really. It wasn't like probably could have gone coming back. I would have had the 13th pick, no, 14th, 15th pick. I maybe could have 15 justified it a little bit. 10 might have been a little high. But I think he's right there, that 12, 13, 14, right in that range.
All right.
Kittle's not too far behind that. Kittle's definitely a mid-second round pick for tight ends. After that, I'm going to look at Mark Andrews as a potential to repeat his year he had last year. He had a great year. Lamar Jackson can get him the ball, no question.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
And they're loaded. Yeah, they're loaded at tight end there too. So
he's the next Rob Gronkowski. I guarantee it.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. Zach Ertz in Philadelphia. I can't go wrong there.
Even though his wife's the better athlete.
Yeah, right. And then my number 5 for tight end is going to be Darren Waller out of Vegas.
So, PB, talk to me about that. I saw that name a bunch of times. Derek Carr is going to – his future's up in the air. He's a make-or-break quarterback. Why do you think Derek Waller will do well with a make-or-break quarterback?
Yeah, I think he likes to throw the ball. I think they're going to build their, they have Josh Jacobs at running back. I mean, he'll do fine, but I think they're just going to chuck the ball around a lot. And the way that system is designed, and Waller can just he's a guy who Carr will end up relying on more than you think. He's going to get he's going to get a lot of balls this year. He's going to he could actually, because some of these other tight ends like Kelsey and Kittle are in systems with really good receivers, the ball's going to get spread out more. I think Waller could see the most targets in the NFL for a tight end this year.
Wow. I got a wild card for you. Blake Jarwin in Dallas.
Okay. You love the Cowboys. You're all
I know, but you know what? I like that kid even before last year. I thought he should have got more reps than Witten, who I love, is an Hall of Famer, but he was a better player. And I got one other one for you because I am a homer. I think Gronk is going to have a huge year.
There goes Brady again.
Well, Brady, sorry.
I'll tell you though, I did my top 5. I didn't get to my sleeper. Tight end sleeper for me, down in Miami.
No.
Mike
No!
Mike
Are you kidding me?
I tell you, if Tua starts getting in there, he's going to have that tight end, easy target for him. I'm going to take Mike Gesicki as my it's a sleeper pick, Ross. It's a sleeper.
All right. It's a good thing because people are going to be sleeping when they watch him play football. That's for sure. That's a wrap, fans. Hey, by the way, as we said, we're going to do the PB&Z Survivor Fantasy. We picked 4 guys, right, PB?
That's it.
And you're stuck with them for the year.
One quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and then
whatever you want.
One flex guy, anybody you want except a quarterback. Can't be a quarterback.
So, hey, fans, if you want in on it, hit us up on Facebook. Send us a direct message. We'll have you in the draft. PB, next week, I guess we got to talk about a preview of the NFL season, right?
Yeah, we're going to do an NFL preview, and we'll give you some more predictions on the NBA and on the NHL.
Hopefully they're still playing at that point in time. All right, sports fans, PB&Z, Sports Chaos. We are signing off. PB, I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, brother.